Many people like to budget when they go shopping, but one BYU professor found that setting specific prices can actually make you spend more. Reporter Jessica Rasmussen got the details of this study and shows us what we can do to fix this budgeting backfire.
How does budgeting affect our shopping? That's the question marketing professor Jeff Larson asked when he began a study in 2011, and what he found may surprise you.
If you set a budget for a purchase, you end up spending more money on that product than if you hadn't set a budget at all.
Larson calls this a budgeting backfire and says one reason it happens is because setting a budget changes your decision process.
When you set a budget for a product, instead of trading off the quality and trying to find the optimal balance of quality and price, what you end up doing is screening on price. And as a result, once you've taken account in price, and then all you do is focus on quality. So as a result, you choose the higher quality product, which tends to be a higher priced product.
If you didn't catch all of that, Professor Larson gave me an example to make it more understandable.
If you set a budget of $500 for a new TV, you're only going to look at TVs somewhere around $450 to $550.
Once you decide on the price you want to spend, two things will happen. The first is that you'll ignore price and focus on quality because you've already set a budget. And if you're just focusing on quality, you'll go with the more expensive TV.
The second thing is once you're looking at TVs between $450 and $550, the difference in quality between those TVs seems exaggerated because you're only looking at this limited range of TVs.
When it comes to college students, the budgeting backfire affects them too, because most students have to purchase one big ticket item, rent.
They say, you know, I can afford up to $350 a month for rent. Well, then what they'll end up doing is looking at the apartment complexes that charge between $300 and $350 in rent, and they'll end up just choosing whichever apartment complex they like better. And you know, the more expensive apartment complex is probably going to be the one they like the most, and so they'll end up spending their entire budget of rent.
Right now I'm paying $325, and in the fall I'm going to be paying $365. I wanted to go down, but the place was so cool I went up.
So what's the solution to this budgeting backfire?
If you force yourself to re-examine price, then that negates the effect. Another thing is also, even though you've set a budget to prevent yourself from spending too much, make sure you open up your budget on the lower end.
Larson says he's working on future studies that will look at how focusing on quality affects purchases and how budgeting affects consumers' ability to distinguish between needs and wants. Jessica Rasmussen, BYU Weekly.